Everyone, today I'm talking about Saturn in Virgo. So this is part of my Saturn sign series. You can check out the playlist of Saturn signs on my channel. So today we are going to talk about what happens when Saturn is in the earthy sign of Virgo, which rules the 6th house. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. Before I get started, I wanted to let you guys know that I do natal chart readings. So I look at your birth chart, I look at the different houses, planets, aspects, and I tell you what kind of challenges you might be facing in your life. I also give you an action plan, a recommendation plan that you can use to follow this and overcome these challenges in your life. I also do Synastry chart readings, which is basically relationship compatibility. So let's say if you're trying to get into a relationship, if you're already in one and you want to know what it's going to be like between the two of you, you can contact me for a Synastry chart reading. I also do tarot card readings, so you can contact me, you can ask me a question related to any aspect of your life. It can be career, it can be health, it can be relationships, basically any aspect of your life. And I'll do a tarot card reading for you as well. If you want to contact me for a reading, drop me a message on my Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Venusianscorp. You can also drop me an email at astroluck111@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I posted the links in the description box below, so be sure to contact me for a reading. Okay, so let's get started. We're talking about Saturn in Virgo today. So first of all, what is Saturn? So Saturn is the planet of delays. It is a slow-moving planet. It's all about delays, it's restrictions, it's all about life lessons that we are meant to learn through trials and tribulations. So usually the Saturn lessons are not learned until you are in your mid-30s or early 40s. That's when you start overcoming these Saturnian lessons in your life. When you've got Saturn in Virgo, so Virgo is an earth sign. It rules, it's a mutable earth sign. The symbol is the Virgin, and it rules the 6th house, which has to do with health, your wellness, which has to do with your everyday routine structure, your chores in your life, basically your everyday schedule. That's what Virgo rules. Virgo also, the sixth house also rules pets, small pets. So when you've got Saturn in Virgo, when you try to have better health in your life, like let's say when you're trying to stick to a daily schedule, you may often find a lot of challenges in doing that. Like for example, you may write down, I'm just giving an example. You may make a schedule for the next day, writing down, okay, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to do XYZ, I'm going to plan my day out, have a structure, everything in place. But then when the time comes, you may actually fail to do it. And that's because the shadow side of Virgo is kicking in, which is Pisces, and Pisces is not the best at sticking to discipline or sticking to tasks. Pisces is very daydreamy. Pisces loves to fantasize about other worlds, other realms, very spiritually inclined. Whereas Virgo is very much about nose in the ground, getting things done, ticking off tasks, having a to-do checklist. So you may do all of that. You may actually have a to-do checklist for every day, but you may actually struggle to stick to a schedule. You may struggle to have a daily routine. Your daily routine can be very erratic at sometimes. Like you may sleep really late into the night, wake up really late the next day. Those kind of things can be real issues for you. And it's not because you're a lazy person or anything like that. It's just that Saturn here, see, Saturn is about discipline. Saturn is a taskmaster. That's why Saturn rules Capricorn, which has to do with authority and discipline and being ambitious, getting things done. It rules the 10th house, which has to do with the public image and career and the way society sees you after everything that you've achieved. So Saturn is very much about being a grown-up, being an adult, being responsible in life. And Virgo, Saturn in Virgo is very much about sticking to daily tasks, having goals in mind, achieving those goals, and moving on to the next thing in your life. Virgo is an extremely hard-working placement. Like Virgo is very self-analytical as an energy. Generally, Virgo people are very critical of themselves, and then by the same token, they're also critical of other people. When you've got Saturn in Virgo, you may find that there is always a challenge when it comes to achieving optimum health in your life, because Virgo rules the sixth house, which has to do with your health and wellness. So you may find that you fluctuate a lot when it comes to health and wellness. Like you may follow different diet plans, you may follow different exercise schedules, but you don't really stick to one thing, if that makes sense. Like you may move from one thing to the other, and that's again that Pisces influence kicking in, where you get bored very easily. You don't want to stick to something. See, Saturn is about sticking to a goal and making sure it happens, So when you're not able to do that, that's a Pisces influence, the shadow side of Virgo kicking in, which is all about, not really being in touch with reality. It's very much about head in the clouds, being spacey. Reality is too much. I need to take a break. I need to sleep. That's very Pisces. So you may feel these issues creeping in when you've got Saturn in Virgo. Now it depends on the state of your sixth house. It depends on which house Virgo is sitting in, which house Saturn is sitting in, what aspects are being made to Saturn. So it depends on a lot of things as to how the Saturn and Virgo influence is going to play out in your life. But just this placement in isolation is about very much about learning the lessons of life, which have to do with, if you've set yourself a goal, it's important to stick to it. It's important to make sure that you complete it, make sure that it reaches its completion, because the tendency with you sometimes is you abandon your projects, you abandon your goals midway through, or once you get bored of them, you sort of abandon them. So the key here, the takeaway here, is to make sure to stick to it. Saturn and Virgo, the thing is, the sixth house also rules pets, small pets. So you may feel like you may always have had an inkling towards pets, like you may have always wanted a pet in your life, like a little animal, little pet in your life, but you may not actually have it until much later in life. Maybe because while you were growing up, your parents didn't allow it, or just multiple reasons. So there can be delays with that as well. What else? Virgo, is ruled by, the symbol is the Virgin. So there is a sense of innocence about you. Like you can be very naive sometimes towards life in general. Like you may feel uh, like you're very hardworking, and you may just have this one-dimensional view of life that the rules are here for you to follow. The thing is, Virgo is very much about following the rules. They don't like to color outside the box, outside the lines. That's Pisces. Pisces is going to do that, but Virgo is not about that. Virgo is about staying within that framework. So what that can sometimes do with people who got Saturn in Virgo, because especially because Saturn is slow to change. Saturn is very much about the status quo and sticking to the rules, sticking to the discipline. So you can sometimes find yourself stuck in a rut where you don't want to go outside that framework. You don't want to explore life beyond the limitations that you put around yourself. And that can be a real obstacle for you, because you don't learn new things in that way, because you set these restrictions around you. You set these limitations that, okay, I'm just going to do XYZ, I'm just going to do it within these parameters, and anything outside that comfort zone is a no-go zone for me. So that can stunt your growth, that can stunt your spiritual and emotional and psychological growth in many ways, because you've just set those boundaries around yourself. And that's the thing with Virgo, it's not somebody else that's doing that, it's the Virgo person doing that to themselves. So you most likely have set these boundaries around yourself. And boundaries are great because they help us get through life in a healthy way. But sometimes you do need to step outside the box and look at life in a different lens. That's where the Pisces influence kicks in. So one way to navigate this energy of Saturn in Virgo is to use that shadow side of Virgo, which is Pisces, to try to step outside your comfort zone a little bit more, not be so rigid in your daily structure. And that is a paradox from, that's a contradiction from what I said earlier, because I said that, you can sometimes fail to stick to daily schedule. And that's very likely with Saturn and Virgo. You can sometimes fail to stick to routine. You can sometimes fail to stick to your health goals, your diet plan, or whatever that you planned in your life. But the key is to turn it around, flip the script, like I always say. Use that Pisces influence to look at life through a different lens. Look at new perspectives in your life. Don't try to follow the same thing that everybody else does. But at the same time, it's also about trying to stick to your schedule, trying to do things so that you don't jeopardize your own health. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, do things so that you don't end up losing out on your health, the productivity that you have planned for the day. So it's not about compromising that, but it's about adding another dimension to it where you're not so rigid with your framework and boundaries, and where you learn to actually step outside your comfort zone and do something different. So guys, that's my take on Saturn and Virgo. And also about the career front, I feel like Saturn and Virgo people are very good in the health and wellness industry. So you could be a healthcare professional, you could be a doctor, you could be a nurse, you could be a nutritionist, a dietitian. So those kind of professions are really good for you because they're very sixth house related, they're very Virgo themed relationships, holistic healing, herbal remedies. Those are very good career choices for you. So guys, that's my take on Saturn and Virgo. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, you can click on the red subscribe button at the bottom of this video, and also the bell icon next to it, so that whenever I post a video, you get a notification in your inbox and you can stay tuned for all of my latest updates. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you in my next video, which is going to be Saturn in Libra. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys. Bye.